Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says second India-Nordic summit is a great platform to discuss ways to boost ties with the Nordic nations. Denmark visit has been productive, says Prime Minister, boosting cultural and commercial linkages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for France to hold talks with French President Emmanuel Macron after completing his Denmark visit. Reserve Bank of India hikes policy repo rate by 40 basis points, taking it to 4.40%. President Ramnath Kovind addresses valedictory function of Northeast Festival in Guwahati. India to be the official country of honour at the upcoming Marché du Film, organised alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Men National Championship 2022 begins in Goa today, and in IPL cricket, match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings underway at Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today participated in the second India-Nordic summit at Copenhagen in Denmark. The Prime Ministers of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Sweden and Norway also participated in the summit. Briefing media in Copenhagen, Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra said prior to the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral summit meetings with his counterparts from Finland, Iceland, Sweden and Norway.
His meetings with four Nordics leaders started with his meeting with his counterpart from Norway, where the principal focus of discussion and partnership was on one, blue economy and its various facets, renewable energy, in particular cooperative possibilities in the field of hydroelectric and green hydrogen. 3, the technology and investment ties. In this context, Prime Minister invited Norwegian pension funds to partner in India's growth story. 4th, in the health sector, in which the two leaders talked about cooperation relating to joint research in vaccines and development of health infrastructure. And 5, cooperation in building and restoring water bodies in India. They also talked about continuing cooperation and coordination in the UN Security Council.
He said the leaders also talked about continuing cooperation and coordination in the United Nations Security Council, as well as bilateral cultural cooperation, including yoga. The Foreign Secretary said Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a meeting with his counterpart of Sweden.
Prime Minister Shri Modi's second meeting was with his counterpart from Sweden, where the principal focus of discussion and cooperation was one on clean technology and sustainable solutions. This was discussed broadly under two rubrics: one relating to the investments by Sweden in India in clean technology and sustainable solution, and 2, partnerships in research and innovation in this field, drawing on very successful partnership under the LEAD IT program, which is the program relating to industrial transition. The two leaders also spoke about S&T cooperation, including polar research, and in terms of new areas, talked about need to shape new partnership in the field of space, Arctic research and defense.
The Foreign Secretary said cooperation in geothermal energy and blue economy were the prime focus areas during Prime Minister Modi's meeting with the Prime Minister of Iceland. Mr. Kwatra said during the meeting with Prime Minister of Finland, focus was laid to build on the existing strength that India-Finland have achieved in the entire ecosystem of digital partnership. Both the leaders also talked about cooperation in digital innovation and digital goods. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has departed for France to hold talks with the French President Emmanuel Macron after completing his Denmark visit. Terming his Denmark visit as productive, the Prime Minister said in a tweet the programs covered different spheres ranging from diplomatic meetings, boosting cultural and commercial linkages and engagement with the Indian community. He thanked Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen and the people of Denmark. After the second India-Nordic summit, Mr. Modi said this summit have a great platform to discuss ways to boost ties with the Nordic nations. He said the bilateral meetings with Nordic leaders were productive and he's looking forward to work with them in various sectors aimed at furthering prosperity.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said India remains committed to meeting the needs of the poorest and the most vulnerable by building the next generation infrastructure to realize their aspirations. In a video message at the 4th edition of International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, ICDRI, Mr. Modi said, people must be at the heart of any infrastructure growth story. He said that infrastructure is about people and providing them high-quality, dependable and sustainable services in an equitable manner. The Prime Minister also talked about the importance of infrastructure in unleashing the human potential and said that damage to infrastructure leads to lasting damage for generations. He said solemn promise of the Sustainable Development Goals is to leave no one behind. Mr. Modi said that in the short time of 2.5 years, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure CDRI has taken important initiatives and made valuable contributions.
CDRI's work on strengthening the resilience of power system has already benefited communities in coastal India by reducing the duration of power disruption during cyclones. It has the potential to contribute to the resilience of global connectivity. The global assessment of disaster resilience of infrastructure system that is being led by CDRI will help create global knowledge that would be immensely valuable.
The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, has hiked the policy repo rate by 40 basis points, taking it to 4.40%. In a statement issued today, the RBI said, on the basis of an assessment of the current and evolving macroeconomic situation, the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, at its meeting decided to increase the policy repo rate under the Liquidity Adjustment Facility by 40 basis points to 4.40% with immediate effect. While addressing the media, RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said,
the Monetary Policy Committee voted unanimously to increase the policy repo rate by 40 basis points, by 40 basis points to 4.40% with immediate effect. Consequently, the standing deposit facility rate stands adjusted to 4.15% and the marginal standing facility rate and bank rate to 4.65%. The MPC also decided to unanimously remain accommodative while focusing on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure that inflation remains within the target going forward while supporting growth.
Mr. Das today said even as the drivers of domestic economic activity are getting stronger, they face headwinds from global spillovers in the form of protracted and intensifying geopolitical tensions along with elevated commodity prices and COVID-19 related lockdowns or restrictions in some major economies. The Reserve Bank's rate-setting panel MPC decided to hold an off-cycle meeting on 2nd and 4th of May and raised the benchmark lending rate repo by 40 basis points and hiked CRR by 50 basis points to contain the rising inflation. The RBI, however, did not tinker with the GDP growth projection made in April. It had slashed the GDP growth projection for the fiscal 2022-23 to 7.2% from its earlier forecast of 7.8%. Mr. Das said, as regards the outlook for domestic economic activity, the forecast of a normal southwest monsoon brightens the prospects for Kharif production. The recovery in contact-intensive services is expected to be sustained, with the ebbing of the third wave and the growing vaccination coverage. Also, he said investment activity should get an uplift from the robust government capex, improving capacity utilization, stronger corporate balance sheets and congenial financial conditions. The Governor emphasized that RBI's monetary policy actions today aimed at lowering inflation and anchoring inflation expectations will strengthen and consolidate the medium-term growth prospects of the economy.
Globally, inflation is rising alarmingly and spreading fast. Geopolitical tensions are ratcheting up inflation to their highest levels in the last 3 to 4 decades in major economies while moderating external demand. Global crude prices, that is crude oil prices, are ruling above $100 per barrel, and they remain volatile. Global food prices touched a new record in March and have firmed up even further since then.
The country's services exports set a new record of $254.4 billion in the last financial year. The new record beats the previous high of $213.2 billion achieved in the financial year 2019-20. The Commerce and Industry Ministry said services exports hit an all-time monthly high of $26.9 billion in last month. The ministry said telecommunications, computer and information services are the top contributors in services exports. The initial public offering IPO of Life Insurance Corporation of India LIC has opened for public subscription from today. It will remain open for subscription till the 9th of May. LIC IPO is the biggest public offering in the country. Our correspondent reports that the allotment of shares to the demat account of bidders will take place by the 16th of May, and the IPO will list for trading on the 17th of May.
Chairman of the National Commission for Minorities, Iqbal Singh Lalpura, has said that the Commission has taken several steps for the welfare of the minority communities. Talking to AIR News, Mr. Lalpura said the Commission's mandate is to provide education and employment opportunities to this section of society. The chairman listed out some of the initiatives like providing scholarship, training and extending loan facilities at affordable rates and organizing Hunar Haat. Earlier, Mr. Lalpura said the Commission has also taken cognizance of the recent incidents related to Patiala of Punjab, Jodhpur in Rajasthan and Jahangirpuri in Delhi.
We have asked for reports on Jodhpur incident, Madhya Pradesh incident, Jahangirpuri. I personally visited to see that similar is the case in Patiala incident. We have asked the state government to report. Certainly there are certain problems also. As I mentioned about Haryana's Sikh Marriage Act and Unmarriage Act. It's our duty to come to their help and see that they get the right help from the government agencies.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Second India-Nordic Summit is a great platform to discuss ways to boost ties with the Nordic nations. Denmark visit has been productive, says Prime Minister, boosting cultural and commercial linkages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for France to hold talks with French President Emmanuel Macron after completing his Denmark visit. Reserve Bank of India hikes policy repo rate by 40 basis points, taking it to 4.40%. President Ramnath Kovind addresses valedictory function of North-East Festival in Guwahati. India to be the official country of honour at upcoming Marche du Film, organised alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Men National Championship 2022 begins in Goa today, and in IPL cricket, match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings underway at Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 4 मई। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. President Ramnath Kovind has said that the northeastern region will emerge as an engine of growth for the entire country. He was speaking at the valedictory function of the Northeast Festival, organized by the Ministry of Development of Northeast Region as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in Guwahati this evening. President Kovind said efforts are needed now to place the northeastern states on par with the industrially advanced states of the country so that more jobs are created. Recognizing this need, the Union government is working on these parameters, he added. The President said northeastern states are the natural gateway to the South Asian countries with international boundaries of over 3,500 kilometers and they are strategically significant for our country. During this week-long event, unsung heroes of Northeast were celebrated through different programs and events. Union Minister for Ports, Shipping, Waterways and Ayush, Sarbanand Sonowal, Union Minister for Law and Justice, Kiran Rijiju, Union Minister for Donair, Tourism and Culture, G.K. Reddy, along with 6 Chief Ministers of Northeastern states were present on this occasion. India will be the official country of honour at the upcoming Marche du Film, organised alongside the Cannes Film Festival in France. The festival will be organised from the 17th of this month. This was announced by Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur during a press conference in New Delhi. He said that France and India are marking 75 years of their diplomatic ties, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Paris and meeting with President Macron takes even more significance in this context. Mr. Thakur said that it is in this significant diplomatic backdrop that India has been chosen as the country of honour at Marche du Film at the Cannes Film Festival. He said this is for the first time that such an honour is being bestowed to any country.
India will be the country of honour at Cannes Film Festival. This is the first time such honour is being bestowed to any country. So India will be officially country of honour at the upcoming Marche du Film, which is organised alongside the Cannes Film Festival in France. The country of honour status thereby ensures India's presence as focused country at the opening night. India is also a country of honour at the Cannes next. So on the opening night, whereas on one hand India can showcase its cinema, culture and heritage. On the other hand, as I said, India will be country of honour at the Cannes next, under which 5 startups would be given an opportunity to pitch to the audiovisual industry.
Mr. Thakur also said India is also a country of honour at the Cannes Next, under which 5 new startups would be given an opportunity to pitch to the audio-visual industry. 10 professionals will participate on the Animation Day networking. This year, the India Pavilion carries a theme, India the Content Hub of the World. It will be inaugurated on the morning of 18th of May. It will showcase Indian cinema across linguistic, cultural and regional diversities of the country and will serve as networking platform for delegates from across the global community.
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today said that the Indian film industry and government recognizes and endorses the potential of culture at the highest level. Addressing the valedictory function of the 2-day national seminar on Indian cinema and soft power organized in Mumbai, Mr. Thakur in a video-recorded message said, depiction of one's culture is a very strong component of any country's soft power. He said, rapid liberalization, deregulation, privatization of media has transformed the film industry in India since the past few decades. He highlighted that Indian cinema emerged as a notable example of global entertainment emanating from outside the Western world. And now let us listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
In today's
today's episode, we remember revolutionary freedom fighter Atul Krishna Ghosh, who died on the 4th of May 1966. Atul Krishna was associated with the Jugantar Group and Anushilan Samiti. He was closely associated with the great revolutionary freedom fighter Bagha Jatin.
Atul Krishna was born in 1890 in Nadia district, now in Bangladesh. While studying in his final year of graduation at Presidency College, Kolkata, he got associated with Bagha Jatin and joined the Anushilan Samiti. He, along with Jatin, founded the revolutionary organization Pathuriya Ghat Abhyayam Samiti.
Following his arrest and release in the Howrah conspiracy case, Bagha Jatin suspended activities and left Kolkata in 1911 under the responsibility of Atul Krishna. As an organizer, Atul Krishna sheltered revolutionaries. Later, a few members of the Anushilan Samiti formed a new branch of the Seva Samiti under Atul Krishna Ghosh. During this time, Atul Krishna maintained contact with many revolutionaries, including Rash Bihari Bose, Gurdeep Singh, Tarak Nath Das, and other Komagata Maru patriots.
हमने जब वादिये गुर्बत में कदम रखा था, दूर तक याद वतन आई थी समझाने को.
At the beginning of the First World War, Atul Krishna Ghosh and Bagha Jatin tried to obtain weapons in Germany and launch a revolution against British rule. However, the British authorities became aware of the situation and attacked Balasore, where the weapons were to be delivered. Bagha Jatin was martyred during the operation. The death of Bagha Jatin left Atul Krishna shattered. He was arrested in 1924 and released after 2 years. Atul Krishna passed away on the 4th of May 1966. We salute this great Indian.
We also remember freedom fighter Kyasamaballi Chengalaraya Reddy, who was born on the 4th of May 1902 in Kolar district, Karnataka. Reddy is recognized for his role in replacing the Maharaja's rule with a stable government in the princely state of Mysore. After independence, Reddy became the first chief minister of the Mysore state. The state was considerably enlarged in 1956 when it became a linguistically homogeneous Kannada-speaking state within the Union of India and was subsequently renamed as the state of Karnataka.
Reddy was a revolutionary from a very young age. He founded the Prajapaksha after graduating from law school in 1930. The party's main aim was to install a stable government in the princely state of Mysore and support the cause of farmers. The organization soon joined forces with the Prajamitra Mandali and united as the Praja Samyukta Paksha or Mysore People's Federation in 1934.
K.C. Reddy served as the president of the Mysore People's Federation from 1935 to 1937. After 1937, the federation joined forces with the Indian National Congress in the fight for freedom. Reddy also led the Mysore Congress as its president. He served as a member of the Constituent Assembly of India.
After the independence of India in 1947, Reddy was at the forefront of the Mysore Chalo movement, seeking a responsible state government in Mysore state, and went on to become the first chief minister of the state.
This is All India Radio, Bangalore and Bhadravati. Sri K.C. Reddy speaks on Gandhiji and independence.
Many countries gained their independence before and some later than India did. But what is remarkable about Indian independence is that it was achieved by non-violent means instead of resorting to violence. This aspect of Indian independence will ever be enshrined in the temple of history as unique and deserving of homage and adoration.
After his term as chief minister, he was elected to be a member of the Mysore Legislative Assembly in 1952.
Subsequently, he served as a member of the Rajya Sabha from 1952 to 1957 and as a member of the Lok Sabha representing Kolar from 1957 to 1962. Reddy also served as the governor of Madhya Pradesh from 1965 to 1971. Till his death in 1976, Reddy continued to serve the people. We salute the great Indian.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
FSSAI has launched Food Safety Connect app for food business operators and consumers. Download this app from Google Play Store and easily apply for FSSAI registration. Consumers can use this app to register food-related complaints.
More than 189 crore 60 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far. Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry said more than 12 lakh vaccine doses were administered today. The ministry said more than 3 crore 80 lakh vaccine doses were administered to the children in the age group of 12 to 14 years. Over 2 crore 88 lakh precautionary doses were administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers, and people above 18 years of age.
The 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Men National Championship 2022 has begun in Goa today. A total of 29 teams will participate in the tournament. The participating teams are divided into 8 pools. Pool matches will be played on the initial 8 days, and these will be followed by quarterfinals on the 12th of May and the semi-finals on the 14th of May. The final match is scheduled to be played on the 15th of May. In IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore were 157 for 8 in 19.1 overs against Chennai Super Kings at Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune when the reports last came in. Earlier, Chennai won the toss and opted to field first. The match against Bangalore is a special one for the Chennai captain MS Dhoni, who is playing his 200th game. In the 50th match tomorrow, Delhi Capitals will meet Sunrisers Hyderabad at Brabourne Stadium, Mumbai at 7:30 p.m. The Sensex and the Nifty today plunged more than 2%. Domestic stock indices slipped amid negative cues from global share markets.
The Sensex lost 1,307 points or 2.29% to trade at 55,669, while the Nifty declined 392 points or 2.29% to trade at 16,678. In the forex market, the rupee strengthened 24 paise against the US dollar to close at 76 rupees and 42 paise against the American unit. Gold prices fell 170 rupees at multi-commodity exchange for June contracts. The precious metal was trading at 50,640 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices also lost 640 rupees to 61,840 rupees per kilogram for May contracts when reports last came in. And oil prices rose more than 4% after industry data showed drawdowns in US crude and fuel stockpiles. In intraday trade, Brent crude was trading around $109.30 per barrel. V. Ravi Kumar for AIR News.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 27 and 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees. Chennai is to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 29 and 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata to have rain or thunder showers with strong gusty winds. Minimum temperature will hover between 25 and 32 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature will be 12 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 20 degrees. Jammu to have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Minimum temperature will be 22 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 36 degrees. Leh and Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad and Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Tiruvananthapuram will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Second India-Nordic Summit a great platform to discuss ways to boost ties with the Nordic nations. Denmark visit has been productive, says Prime Minister, boosting cultural and commercial linkages. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for France to hold talks with French President Emmanuel Macron after completing his Denmark visit. Reserve Bank of India hikes policy repo rate by 40 basis points, taking it to 4.40%. President Ramnath Kovind addresses valedictory function of North East Festival in Guwahati. India to be the official country of honour at the upcoming Marché du Film, organised alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. 12th Hockey India Sub-Junior Men National Championship 2022 begins in Goa today. And in IPL cricket, match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings underway at Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.